Are you someone who struggles to get the most value out of the money you're spending on your credit cards? Well, in this video, I'm going to be showing you the top 2 cashback credit cards of 2022. Not only do these cards have great rewards, but you actually get to choose the categories in which you get these high rewards in. Let's go ahead and jump right in. The first card that I want to talk about is the Citi Custom Cash card. The Citi Custom Cash has a welcome bonus of $200 after the first $750 to spend in the first 3 months of having the card. In addition, it gets you 0% interest APR for the first 15 months of having the card, and then it'll bump up to 13.99 to 23.99%. However, on this channel, I never recommend that you get yourself anywhere close to being in credit card debt, so you shouldn't really worry about this 0% interest APR as you won't be getting anywhere close. So the main perks of this card is that it gives you 5% cash back on your highest eligible spend category each month. However, this is only for the first $500 that you spend in that category, so you do have to spend wisely. Because after that, it does go to 1% back, and that is for every other category as well. The 5% category for these cards would be restaurants, gas stations, grocery stores, select travel, select transit, select streaming services, drugstores, home improvement stores, fitness clubs, and live entertainment. Another good perk about this card is that there's no annual fee, and one of the downsides is that it does have a 3% foreign transaction fee, but that's kind of to be expected on cards such as this. Now let's go ahead and jump over to the second card, which would be the U.S Bank Cash Plus card. The welcome bonus with this card is very similar. It's $200 after you spend the first $1,000 in the first 120 days of having this card, so it is a little bit of a higher spend. This card also comes with a 0% interest APR for the first 15 months of having the card, but as we mentioned earlier, we're just going to throw this one out the window. The cool thing about this card is that you actually get to choose 2 5% cashback categories and 1 2% cashback category every quarter. The 5% cashback category is only good for the first $2,000 of combined eligible purchases, but the 2% category has no limit. After that, all the other purchases that you make without being in those categories are just all at 1%. In addition to that, you get 5% back on prepaid air, hotel, and car reservations booked through their rewards travel center. This card also has no annual fee, and one additional benefit that comes with this card is that it does allow you to select your payment due date. Although a lot of other banks do this, it is a pretty cool feature. And this card also comes with a 2 to 3% foreign transaction fee depending on what currency you're using. So as you can see on the screen now, the 5% cashback categories of choice are fast food, TV, internet, and streaming services, cell phone providers, home utilities, department stores, and electronic stores. The 2% category is for grocery stores, restaurants, or gas stations and EV charging stations. After that, you get 1% cash back on all other eligible purchases. I also saw in the fine print that there are more 5% cashback opportunities with this card, and those are as follows. You can use it on sporting goods stores, movie theaters, gym or fitness centers, furniture stores, ground transportation, or select clothing stores. Now let's go ahead and move on to which one you should maybe think about getting. As for the Citi Custom Cash, some of the pros of this card is that it is really good for cash back. And it is also really good when it's paired with other Citi cards like the Citi Premier or Citi Prestige. The reason for this is that you can transfer points between them, and in my previous video shown up here, you can see just how powerful that is with Chase cards, but you can also do that with Citi here. One downside is that it does kind of have a low limit of spend each month with only $500 each month in that select category, but in reality, that's still pretty good, especially for a college kid. Another downside is that it's not necessarily good for travel unless you combine your points with other Citi cards. And finally, I found that it doesn't actually have the strongest insurance coverage, which it wouldn't be a big deal as long as you have some higher tier cards that do have coverage. As for the U.S Bank Cash Plus, this one is also good for cash back over travel. And as I mentioned, it has really cool customizable rewards, which is a cool feature. The one downside to those cool selection features is that it does require maintenance, as they require you to select those categories every quarter, the 5% and the 2%. In addition, this may make it hard to keep track of spend, but it is definitely doable. Some similarities between the two cards is that they both don't have any annual fee. They both require you to know how much spending you're doing each month/quarter, but for this one, I would actually give the crown to Citi, as they keep track of your highest spend each month and which category that is in, and they automatically give you the cashback for that category for the first $500. They also both have similar benefits as they're both good for cashback, and they both do have fraud protection. I also want to mention that they are not great first cards, as they require good to great credit to be approved, but in that previous video that I linked earlier, I do talk about some good beginner credit cards, especially if you're in college. So now let's move to my plan with these 2 cards in the upcoming year. So this may come as a surprise, but I actually plan on getting the Citi Custom Cash here in April, which will be 3 months after I got my most recent Chase Sapphire Preferred. My plan though with it is to only use it for that one category. I want it to be a card that I can kind of set and forget and only spend a certain amount each month in that specific category, so I know that I'm guaranteed to get that 5% return. This will help fill in some gaps in my other cards where I don't get super high rewards, and I think it'll be really helpful to tie them all in together. Also, as I mentioned previously, I'm in college, so I don't really have a very high spend. If you had a little bit of a higher spend, I actually might go with the U.S Bank Cash Plus, as you do have that $2,000 of combined eligible purchases, which would be nice. I did initially actually want the U.S Bank Cash Plus card, but after doing some more research and making this video, I found that U.S Bank generally wants you to wait 6 months after applying for your last credit card, and I feel like I just have more options on the table right now that I want to apply for, including the Citi Custom Cash. So I'm gonna go ahead and go for that one instead. The main deciding factor for me between the two was that I didn't really want any maintenance at all on this credit card. And as I mentioned previously, in order to get the rewards for the U.S. Bank card, you're gonna have to set quarterly reminders to remind yourself to select those categories, and I'd rather just not deal with it. I also do want to note that I probably will get the U.S. Bank Cash Plus card at some point, but I think it's gonna be, after 6 months of me not really wanting any other card, which isn't the case right now. Also for me, I do have to keep in mind Chase 524, and basically all that states is for my application to be even looked at for a Chase credit card, I cannot have opened 5 or more personal credit cards with any company in the past 24 months. And since I'm sitting at 3 within the past 24 months right now, if I had the Citi Custom Cash, I'm gonna probably leave that spot reserved until I see something that I either really want, or if it's been 6 months, I might actually apply for the U.S. Bank Cash Plus card. Another card I'm thinking about getting is one of the Southwest cards, which is in the Chase ecosystem as well. And obviously, if I got both of these cards right away, I'd get locked out from getting that card until that 24 months was up. As for my final thoughts between these two cards, I think it really all depends on your personal case. If you're someone like me who's in college and doesn't have a very high spend and would just like to take advantage of 5% in one specific category that you spend a lot of in, then I would go with the Citi Custom Cash like I am. However, if you're somebody that spends a little bit more and wants to have a little bit more freedom over the categories that you choose, I would go with the U.S. Bank Cash Plus card. I just think for me in my situation and not wanting to have any kind of maintenance on my card, I think the Citi Custom Cash makes the most sense. But of course, I'd love for y'all to do your own research in this situation because everybody's situation is a bit different. That's going to go ahead and conclude my comparison between the two cards, but if y'all have any other cards that you'd like for me to review, leave a comment down below and I'd love to take a look at them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you want to watch more, click here to see my latest video. And finally, if you enjoyed, please consider clicking the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.